Jon Jones is the pound for pound best fighter in the world and the greatest fighter fucking ever. Period. End of story.
But Jon Jones must lose to Stipe Miocic. I know a lot of people hate Jon Jones, but that's not why I want Jon Jones to lose. I don't care if Jones is a good guy or not, if you like him or not. Like, who gives a fuck? I want Jones to lose because this is the best thing that can happen to the heavyweight division right now. The heavyweight division is in shambles and order needs to be restored. Jones is a champion, but he wants to retire after one fight. He does not want to fight the interim champion, a British lad, Tom Aspinall.
Have you ever been fingered by an MMA fighter before?
Fingered?
Yeah, fingered.
Jones wants to fight Stipe. Alright, Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time. But he is like 42 years old now. Last time he fought was in 2021. For the love of God, last time he won was even before 2021. Nobody wants to watch Jon Jones bully old man Stipe. God forbid if Jones beats Stipe by any chance, everything will be fucked in heavyweight. You know when a champion loses his belt to the new contender, right? It is like passing off Olympic torch, like a relay race. You don't like it if your favorite fighter is the one passing on the torch, but guess what? It is necessary to keep everything in order, alright? And this passing of torch is missing right now from the heavyweight division. Last time it happened was when Stipe lost to Francis Ngannou. Ngannou took the torch and marched forward, but he didn't pass it on to anybody. He smoked a bunch of fighters and said, I am out. My man dipped out as the heavyweight champion. Johnny Bones decided to come back after 3 years, just as Ngannou left. Point to be noted, my lord. He came back, got Cyril Gane, who cannot defend a takedown to save his life. I think Cyril Gane still thinks UFC is a kickboxing promotion, but that's not the point. Point is, one question that haunted every MMA fan was who would win between Francis Ngannou and Jon Jones. That was so unfair for the whole MMA world. We never got to see that fight. But life is unfair. Jon Jones has already announced this is his last fight. And now if he beats Stipe and retires, we'll have two UFC champions who never fought each other, never lost the belt to someone else either. Then Tom Aspinall becomes the champion, but will anyone consider him a real champion when you know there are two other guys who have done a lot more than Aspinall? Half of the world will call him a proxy champion who has the belt only because Ngannou and Jones left. The question that will haunt every MMA fan will be who would win between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones. So to legitimize Aspinall as a champion, he needs to beat a real champion. He needs to take that belt from somebody and not just get it because previous UFC champions left UFC. Ngannou is not coming to the UFC ever. I think that is fixed in stone now. Jones wants nothing to do with the new generation. He wants to beat up old guys with impressive records and obvious weaknesses. He straight up refuses to fight Aspinall. And why would he fight Aspinall? He has made a lot of money by now and he is set for life. Has nothing left to prove. He is the greatest of all time in the UFC. He's taking the easy way out. But everything changes if Stipe beats Jon Jones. Alright, now we have a champion who may be willing to fight Aspinall. I don't think Stipe is set for life money-wise. If UFC throws some good money, Stipe will fight till he is 80 years old, alright? If Jon Jones loses, he will also want a couple more fights. He can leave the sport with a loss after never being beaten his whole career. His ego won't let him leave the sport with a blemish on his record and he'll be burning in the fire of revenge. And if Aspinall gets his hands on any of these two old heads, Aspinall is a young guy. He might beat up these two old heads. One is on cocaine and another is a full-time firefighter. That's the way to restore order in heavyweight division. That's the way to secure the future of heavyweight division. You cannot make a UFC star out of nothing. You need to build him up by feeding him previous champions, previous stars. Tom Aspinall is the future for heavyweight division and UFC must build him up by feeding him these old champions. I hope that Jon Jones loses to Stipe. If you want the UFC to be fun, pray to the God in which you believe. Ask him to give Stipe the power to bounce Jones' heads off the canvas. If Jon Jones gets knocked out by old man Stipe, that will be the best thing for heavyweight division.